Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
Yesterday, we were designing this job application business process, right? We went into edit dynamic definition. And we were able to design this possible next steps. As you know why we are designing possible steps. The logic is we have to send the candidate right. Suppose the candidate is very good and is very good. From review to phone screen we had to send. Then we had designed this next phase, possible next steps. We had designed phone screen. He might go to phone screen, might go to assessment. It is all the things we have framed right yesterday. For each and every steps, we have given possible steps because else we cannot move the candidate further. That's the logic. And now suppose that in the job application a candidate might not be good. How to decline the job application? We had to, see possible dispositions. These are the steps we are going to today. I would say it's a kind of implementation. I would say client will give us, actually, this disposition they'll already create and keep it. I'll show you next 5 minutes. Dispositions are the reasons for declining the job. It might be the reason like, for example, candidate might be in the, in the job application. He is in the employment agreement stage. His background check stage. We got the status saying that his BGP is like, it is not positive, negative, we can decline the job application, right? That candidate. Likewise, a candidate might not be interested with the offer. A candidate might not be interested with the I would say he might be a no-show. Sometimes reasons I'm telling he might be a no-show, or he might not be happy with the package, or he might not be ready to relocate to other location. These are, in real time, a lot of, this dispositions to decline the job applications. Now we have to frame each and every step, right? For review, what are the dispositions? Almost similar. It will be there. I'll show you in the client now. We will, before we design this, possible dispositions for review stages, see here. For this disposition will be for review stage. Again, we had to come back to yesterday, same ways. Here we are to design few dispositions. Almost randomly, we can pick up and do it fastly, no issues. But I want to show how this disposition is. Populate over here the way business process, security groups are populating, right? How can we do that? You might be wondering, it's very easy. We can go to the maintain recruiting dispositions. That's the task, right? Right. Including dispositions. However, in the slides and all I will mention each and every step. What are the reports you need to check? No need to remember all these domains, the ports and all, but how are it will help. Fetching few things. That's the reason I shown, and see here there are 19 items, 19 recruiting dispositions. Reasons. If you see here, job opening is no longer available. Just a moment, I'll drag it. Automatic decline another candidate. Chosen candidate is not interested. Candidate withdraw. A change in interest or availability. Sometimes candidate will be changing his mind, right? As you know, in recruitment also it happens. And he might be declining offer fields. Compensation is insufficient. As a second, sometimes candidate may not be reachable. These all the dispositions will be there. This dispersion reasons will be there and which will map to see here. Some will be rejected by, rejected. For example, manager will reject actually. And sometimes candidate himself declined, right? The job application might not be interested. That also we can. Anyway, this reason mapping will do, that's it. And when it comes to the side of the page, you might be wondering, what is this candidate withdrawal? And this candidate withdraw. As I said, see, this is candidate withdraw reason and here candidate withdrawal. It will be there. Like if candidate has to withdraw his job application, then we can include this option. These are not mandatory, but however which we are using, this mapping is important. Reason mapping. These are just, I want to show how it works, all those things. Candidate withdraw. Candidate withdrawal declined by candidate. Mapping is important again. Anyway, candidate will give each and everything over here and already these all the things will be designed. But however, if you want to add something new, then you can use this step and add the add over. Here you can add the step here. You can add some reason. Label means any shortcut needs you can label over, right? I would say, and we can select the mapping. That's it. Which we can use further. It will populate here, actually in this position. Right. Understood, right? And when it comes to disposition remaining jobs, I suppose if he's applied for different positions, that's what I'm just thinking here. Anything is there. I want to relent that. Anyway, suppose a candidate is hired for other job. Let's suppose a candidate has 2 job applications. One job application is for Java. One is for UI developer. Let's assume that. And he has been selected and hired for Java job application. Here his hired business process is also triggered. What happens in this case? The remaining job application for UI developer, which will be rejected, right? Because he's already got selected and his hired VP also triggered. What happens in that case? His remaining job application would be rejected, right? For that disposition remaining jobs, this feature will use. Like we can check that checkbox. You can add the reason like hired for other job. Like I was saying. Like that. I work for the job. And it's rejected. And we can put this checkbox. We can put this checkbox and click on. Like that I'm telling. What is the use you might be? But however, mapping is important. Rather than these all the things just for your knowledge. I'm just explaining how it works. And when it comes to disposition remaining candidates for this part, it will be like, for example, other candidates sometimes will be hired, right? For example, let's suppose for a single job acquisition, somebody has been hired or that position is filled. And what happens once a candidate is hired or filled? For example, the job acquisition is filled. And what happens in that time? What are the pipeline, job application, which has been over there? That review stage, screening stage, all those things has to be rejected, right? Has to be rejected, right? That is the reason we select this disposition, remaining candidates. Select the use to close remaining candidates. Active job application for the filled job application, right? That is what you know. This option will come when the situation arises like disposition remaining candidates. Then only we'll be able to see these reasons. When we have to make sure that we are attaching the logic actually, we need to understand what this mapping is important. As I said, and when it comes to the part dispersion, when candidate is pushed, this one. It's like, do you know merging and purging? I know merging. As you know, merging is very simple. We do have 2 to 3. Merging is removing the candidate from the system. Absolutely. Absolutely. This merging is, as you know, we do have 2 to 3 records of the same candidates. And then we are going to merge their records because those records will be merged and purging. As you said, it's a separate or dividing the same kind of candidate or removing the candidate from the entire talent. Like example means for, like a candidate has applied for multiple job recognitions for merging and billing. Like he has applied for multiple job recognitions. What happens in that case? His pre-hired data will be there, right? Even he applies his pre-hired data will be there. What happens in this case is, he is the same person, right? Then we want his pre-hired data should be combined. This is called merging, and we can go to Edit Tenant Setup, Automatic Candidate Merging. You can put this point in the CV. I have done implementation of automatic candidate merging. Understood, right? I will show you, but how are you? I think if the tenant is supporting, I can show you. I think that we need to go to the Edit Tenant Setup, right? Because before only it would have done. If you are not doing that, then you don't merge on a single candidate. Those records. He'll be applying for 2, 3 job applications. He will be going to Edit Tenant Setup Recruiting. Yep, correct. Edit Tenant Setup Recruiting. I think it will work. I feel positively. When I want to show something if it is not working, it's difficult to explain a few steps because only we can say when we show. Only you will be able to understand. That's the reason I did. Enable candidate merging. Enable automatic candidate merging. Once you click on this and if you press, you can merge that data. That's the reason I showed you. This is what you know merging and all these edit tenant setups will do. Very easy step, and you can put that also on the C that it will be good. You might be doing this person at work. We need to, do things. That's it. When you say merging, when a candidate has applied for 2 to 3 different positions, at that point you're going to merge the candidate automatically. It will merge into one data. What I will do is, and I'm explaining candidate rules, That upcoming sessions probably not this week. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think this topic and I like it played with examples. Okay. Clearly, I don't know how to merge. How to merge? Because if I say now not the right moment, I think that's the reason I'm just saying. And as you know, if you want a single record to be divided or removed, this job application from the tenant, that is called the budget. We can delete that data and get data from the tenant. This is what default disposition when candidates push. Those two default disposition in Canada's disposition and closing job reputation. The main candidate job application. This disposition are like I would say. This is used for when a candidate is job application selected. Dispersion using the remaining candidate. One candidate will be selected for a particular job or condition and already that acquisition will be closed. And that's once we close that, remaining job applications will be there. Remaining, and you can close that job acquisition once you enable this feature. Just for your information, we can close the particular job. If you close a job acquisition, it will automatically dispose all the candidates on that particular job acquisition. That's what automatically it will actually do that. This version candidates on closing job acquisition. If you close job acquisition automatically, that we have to enable this. Anyway, this is not important. Mapping is important, as I said. Yes, these are all. We remove this, that make this all. It's very simple in this particular job recognition. If we talk, there will be a lot of candidates, but the job recognition will be closed because already it will be. That's all we can close, and we can particularly close the job. Simply, I would say. That's what this one. In the disposition is to close the remaining candidate's active job application. The remaining candidate's job will be closed in that particular job recognition. And which is active, inactive, we can just get to know. I'll cancel it. I just want to give you an overview that you'll be having an idea. No, I'm just going here. See for review stage. I'm adding some dispositions or to decline the application. I'm trying to give you like. Can it not interested randomly a little bit actually? I'll pick on the passing. Not interested. And for what are the dispositions? I'll select only these options. I will get in the review stage when I want to decline. Suppose this for reasons only I get when I want to decline the job application for review stage. Other than that, you won't get anything. That is what. Randomly, I'll take some. That's what I was thinking. and to simplify the motion. But this is during phone screen, right? Like this. And assessment. People here and possible disposition. That's not. And it not interested. You can say, actually, when we do, when you practice more now, you will get that thing. Do by yourself. Sit in home. You do each and everything. You know what happened that you will get it only by practice. You will get that. Got? And it's not a rocket science. Also recruitment learning. I think we can. When you go for certification, they will not give time. 45 hours. You have to learn everything and you have to go for it. There are 3 tests. It was there. But I will let you know as if no, I didn't get the info from. I'll just click on because sometimes it will be first. I didn't have to do it from beginning. I'm just pushing it. I am going to any time. It's very simple. We learned the course. We entered into a particular, for example, of their equipment. We feel like we should start from scratch. What I think, even you have 10 years experience also, that doesn't matter because nobody is going to care what I mean. People, how they think, whether he has the talent is able to do that. Only they'll think whether other parameters. They won't think. I need to say, you have to start from the scratch to build this. Because all this time you have been in 2 different places. We are to be little, down to the earth and learning everything and managing the things. We'll get good friends also sometimes. I mean to say that's what my other way. I mean within 6 months, 1 year and all you can sustain in the system. You learn, you'll get all the grip each and every you feel comfortable. Maybe after 6 months. Initial 6 months you have to work. I mean, we should work the way we joined the pressure company, right? What happened? We learn each and everything, right? Something, such kind of attitude we have, you know it will do very good. That eagerness. And even somebody, they don't care actually, although what this and all that when you do the work, that's, it will be going. Other than that, they don't care, especially here. And sometimes you'll not be having total 5 days work. Hardly the work. You can finish it in the way you practice for 3 hours, 4 hours. Same work will not be done sometimes. 2, 3 days will be 3. You can finish it up. But at the end, the work has to be finished on perfect deadline. It will go to a solution, and that we have to mention. There is one candidate. He is actually very skilled person. We learned about the recruitment from me. He has to take less years of experience. He is into a lot of IT technologies. People saw him in other technologies. I forget him in a long time. For IT technologies, and he got placed in a partner company. He's doing well. Good to hear that. That's what I say. Once we learn and cope up with the thing, because he has that. He had that experience, I would say. Maybe he would have shown 4 years, or I didn't ask him, but however, he has left and he managed. Because he is into multiple technology. You know that skill, he has that potential also. Maybe that is the reason he got success actually. If you have the confidence of managing things, why not? Absolutely. We have designed the job application with this. Yesterday, like possible next steps were given and possible disposition we have created for each and every case. I will explain to you what is view mode, all those things, upcoming sessions. We will go step by step. We have designed job application business process. How about job application sub stages like review, screening assessment, interview, offer, ready for hire? I mean, these are all the things we have designed, right? That is what. Now I'm going to do that. I'll do it. I'll show you. Business process. Create copy or link definition. I will just copy from to save the time, but I'll explain it. Whatever doubts, it isn't that a review. First, we'll design that review for our company. Copy existing. This is a candidate business process. Just now we created, no, I'm not including much steps. However, see, you know what is the security group of initiative means. You have any idea? No, I have no idea about it. Initiative is nothing, but a person might be a recruiter or a hiring manager, or let's say an example. I'll tell you a candidate is in interview stage. in interest at the final moment, the manager will take the decision right to proceed further or not to offer state. He moved the candidate to offer state right at the end moment. Final decision maker right. In interest, manager has more of the candidate to offer state. Final decision has been taken by many of them. He will come under this initiative. That means the person before the sub stages who has taken final decision on that particular candidate, he will be the initiative or the recruiter or the hiring manager. I would say understood. Understood. And we were talking, like question, but we were talking on the second or third sessions, right? That I'll try to explain business process. They might ask those. I will explain it tomorrow, but I'll give you an overview today. Tomorrow, I'll explain the interview and offer those things, but today we'll design all the babies. If you see the business process, mostly we use action steps. Only just wanted to show what are the steps. It will populate. See candidates. I mean, they can schedule their own calendars, like meetings or something, and change government, identify a task, change personal information like his contact information or contact information, or any change of information regarding his data. I'll explain you next Wednesday or Tuesday. What is my next action? Approval chain checklist, complete questionnaire. When you want to populate a questionnaire, you just have to click complete question. Which are the security group you want to? You can just no need to add or something. It will come. What are the security? For example, I didn't add right. I mean, you don't need to go on business process security policy. It will come. This step I had given. I'll explain you next 2 minutes. See, these are action steps. The reputation which is taken by the initiative might be a recruiter in the review state. And I'm adding one question. I'll show you. No, I added a question over here. I'll show you. See here. Complete questionnaire. Recruiter. The security group will be action taken by recruiter. How to configure simple. Configure questionnaire. And we can add question over here. Whatever the question is, we had created. Just see if we had created right that time. We can make that popular over here. And if you want any more right. And you know right, how to create question as under that day I shown you. I have practiced it as well. Which will populate here. And if you can, it's done. and you will get to know. For example, you are a recruiter over here. We'll get to know the people. But we are configuring over here. And I'll show you a little more detail in, not now. Maybe I was declined some other features that I'm a legs. If you're required and you know how to create a question, maybe you do one thing. When practicing, you create one questionnaire for background. Verification. Verification report. What is your total experience? Do you have a previous company manager? Have you previously worked with this company? If I didn't, we can create one questionnaire like that and we will add it in the business process. I'll get the question. You done it. And what happens once the BP is triggered? That will go to the candidate. You need to answer that question. I mean, we may not be able to see it, but in real time what happens? That will go to the candidate, the form account. He'll answer those things based on that. We can take the risk. Even for us, right? That party people, what they do for especially for assessments, and all one integration will be triggered. Actually, we cannot do any assessment. I cannot show also. We cannot do also. Because this assessment, writing, test, the results, everything that particular data, just manager or recruiter can take a action based on that marks obtained by them. No particular job. You understood, right? To land into this page, you have to go the company from there. You have to go to the business process, and in the business process, you select create, edit or link definition. See, it's very simple. Again, I'll go. My company is this company, right? Let's assume this is my company. Short. This is my company. This is the business process. Create a copy or link. They might ask you how to create a business process. You can tell particular organization. I'll take actions, business process, create copy or link definition. That's it. This question might be asked, but these are minor questions. They won't ask. But how are sometimes silly questions also? They last like very easy question. How to be a super early organization. We'll go to the new. Now I understand you go to the business process type. Right now I'm designing screen. I'm just to reduce the time. Actually I can create, but it takes time. Anyways, you're showing me the steps that are. Yesterday, previous sessions, I shown you can do by your own. I feel that I have that confidence. I think, and I'll take this company. This company, I have set up few things. This is just copying, actually that it makes sense and that it's easy and it triggers everything. What I did, I troubleshooted for this. If I troubleshoot in the skins, I cannot explain it. That is the reason I choose on this. I'll just scream. I don't think the screen manager steps will be that power or 1 or 2 steps. That's it. Are we not supposed to fill in? Can you please scroll a little bit? I'll show you just going to the phone. Only a B step. Like only screen candidate. We are going to screen like the way we screen resumes, and alright. Screen candidate initiator will take the position. That's it about this PP. I'll show you if there is any steps. I have a question. When you say initiator, it could even be the recruiter or the hiring manager. Depending on which substage they are the initiator will be decided. No, I would say, for example, a candidate is in review stage. You will be sending that candidate to a screening stage, right? You are telling me when you are sending the candidate to screening stage, you are the initiator because you are taking the final decision, right? It is really good in this stage. He cared all the criteria, right? You are moving that candidate. You are the decision maker. You might be a good manager. Who the initiator is in this case? Whoever is taking the final decision, they would be the initiator. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is. You understood me. That is what? That is the reason we include. It will populate. No. And I'll show you very soon. But let us check also quickly. Business process. Very good. Here also you can attach questions. Again, if it is required. It's up to you. You can design. Since what do we do? Just now I'm showing you. Exactly. And what are the security group needs to be taken at? Initiative. Whatever it is. Initiative. No need to add. As I said. And you need to attach the questionnaire also. When you give complete questionnaire, you have to attach that questionnaire. Then only it will link actually. And we'll see any action items. Important items. Automatically unpost job. Candidate same. Almost similar. I think. Normal status. You can see. Automatically unpost jobs. Change government. Change person. Almost similar. This announcement. I'll explain. What is meant by endorsement? You know, right? Referral means, for example, where a person who will be referring a candidate whom you know, your friend, Colleen, right? But in the announcement, it's opposite. Candidate will do too. Let's assume that external career site. He applied for a job. He'll endorse a candidate saying that I know XYZ person in this organization. Once he says that, that endorsement will reach to that XYZ person. They'll ask, do you know Vishnu? Like that, they'll ask, yes, I know. VP will take care of that. And once he confirms, investment process, those will take care. That's what. I'm giving overview. I'll explain you detail. Other than that, nothing. I'm just can't see. Will we be working on the other steps as well? Like it says, allowed actions by role, allowed service. Again, it depends. The client we can put. It will become more complicated. Now what happens? Our candidate, we cannot go through the sub-stages, right? 2-3 steps. And if it is required, employment agreement and all, I'll put 5-10 steps. If your steps will add it, or this is very easy on the right. Screening, assessment. Anyway, third-party people will do. And integration with. However, I show in the VP also. Actual scenario. An interview. Use steps important. And offer will be very important. I'll show. If you want, you can add the step, but I'm talking about. You have at the top business process, steps notifications allow action by role. In real time. Other than the business process, steps and notifications will be. We may be using the rest of them as well. Something will use notification that I will explain you when situation comes. But However, notification, they do have all the templates, everything. They have actually, we can go to just business process, add notification. We can set up the note. I'll show you one or two like that. We'll design this because now it's a COVID. Business process. Assessment. Process candidate. I think 3 or 4 steps away from. Like to click. Then I come back to this. See, if you go here, you know what happens. There will be actions that assist candidate. They'll assist the candidate. The initiator will be taking actions. Anyway, test will be there, right? Let's assume that. Test the road. This test. And here when taking. Question. See, I would say this. The assessment step will be done by third-party people. They'll take the test. They'll keep the results. They'll just make us. Mentation will be taken by the recruiter. And before this, make us mentation in real time on integration. Based on that, this assessment station will be taken. I have to say exactly. Not based on this. Because this writing test, keeping these are things, number of companies, they want to button only to 100. When you say third party, obviously they'll have a link or some you are into it. In real time, do we have Shagger? Or what happened? They will only take care of that test. That party. See, they'll take care. They'll maintain those tests. They'll keep everything and they'll send the request. And then one integration will trigger actually. With that, we will get the idea. Proceed. Decline the application. Will you be able to show us that or no? The problem is, those will be done through integrations, right? And third party, right? And in our tenant, assessments will not work. As I said, a lot of time, assessment will not work. Something. It will not work. And usually it's done by third party also. But if you, in short, I'll show you. But not on an integration part. They'll take those integration, how it will trigger an all integration. People will be taken care of, not to bother about that. And it was, then nobody is going to ask. 100%. No worries. This is majorly under that. But even right, the other is, we'll take the decision as an included and make and proceed. That's it. See here as a candidate, we'll assess. Usually just until assessing the candidate. Here's the test which we wrote. We take that. Let's say one test here. We take the candidate assessment. And based on that, we will take an assessment. And whether he had right, don't the test correctly or not right? Just logically. That is what it is. And regarding assessment, understand it. 100%. It will not work anything. Even we were talking on some sec- something. Security also. I tried to show that. Assessment based, but I couldn't. In this time. It's not only today. They want assessment. We cannot show. Because those will be done by that parties. You understand the logic. When you get that. But it's even in the end, and it also. It will be there. But our integration on this. They just take the results. And execute the step. That's it. Simple. No need to worry on this part. But I'll show you some screenshot. How it is that. Just know we are designing the screening assessment into I think what are the steps you can include in the internal business process? You can, they might ask. You can prepare the steps. 2, 3 steps only. 3 steps, naturally. I'll show you. Once click on. Then only this will be. Else again. We are to be. Tomorrow I'll explain you this interview and of elaborated. Today we'll just design this. But however, I'll show you steps. In this action step would be schedule interviews. That will be done by the initiative. Manage interview feedback. Invitations. These are the 3 steps actually. Important steps. Schedule interview. Manage interview feedback. And how? Few things I want to show. Tomorrow I'll elaborate. Configure participants. Shared participation is there, right? The shared participation. These people. It's nothing but default. This contingent worker and no. What do we say? No. Contingent word. Group will be automatically populated over there. And these are the people who will give the result for the. It will populate automatically. Just that is the reason here included. Because sometimes the panel might be also contractor, right? You understand. Sometimes the panel might be a contractor. Sometimes panel will be. If it is employee, that is a permanent employee. No word. But sometimes this contingent worker also will be. But how are they do the results? That's what I mean. I think I was done. The task. Interview offer. I'll explain. Because that's quite important, right? Rather than other movies. Those I'll take session, make interpretation. I mean, final integration will be taken by manager, right? Usually these are the 3 steps. Very important should then enter managing to prepare, making the pitch. Just even memorize, that's it. And we go to business process. Review, screening, assessment, interview. We have done far. We'll do it up at offer. offer we can do, but I want to show. Anyway, I'll do it, but I will explain it to you. It's not about time because this operator report, I just wanted to let it rest, means I can explain. Lick. But anyway, after we will do it, explanation tomorrow you do your offer this to a new one. When you say you're going to explain elaborately, are you going to create a new one? Not a new one, but step by step I'll explain. We are designing the VP, right? Just to the design. See, event review, screening, this and all not much impacting, but important stages offer. Important stages are needed, right? That's the main. There's all steps I can explain, but these are the steps very important in the job application. I would say that's the reason why. You can go through all those VPs once. At least we'll get an idea. You just scroll it and you can check. See here in this offer. I have a lot of offer letters. Maybe this will be easy for me. I think we have to generate the document and we need to include one step. Tomorrow I'll use this. Generate document. I think proposed compensation offer employment agreement, the step is included. Request one-time payments, request one stock grants, and make operation. I think one more step we have to include. I'll try to include generate document from the mobile. One step is there, but I think we can include it. Anyway, I'm going to explain this. No worries on this. Just to have an idea, I'm just showing. With this, cleaning assessment interview offer is done. Then we do have you go through the VPs. Still, you have any steps, any doubts you have, you can come back to it. No worries. Employment agreement or reference checking. Reference check. I think for this last steps are needed. I'll show you. For this, add references this references stage. Nothing, but it's a mini version of aging background verification. Right. What are the, as you know, what are the reference will do? They'll go and check. We do for a particular company. I was for a company manager number or their email ID. I mean, sometimes they'll check like this kind of, references, whatever we provide. Mini version of VGB, I would say, background verification. Physically, they'll go and check, but however, at least they can check by calling the person involved in the organization. They can call and check. Reference check station. It can be taken by initiative. This is simple steps. No worries on this part. We're screening us with interview offer, the check, employment agreement, background check and review for that. That's already provided. Now that we've been busy at that, we'll design it to that. Tomorrow, we'll have a different time. You will miss. No employment. I think we had a lot of things that we did. A lot of steps. Please go and review once. That you will get an idea. I'm just doing it on a shortcut places. If you can review for 5 minutes each, it is. We'll get an idea and we'll get the knowledge. Definitely. I'll do that. See here. A lot of steps at the initial pre-hire contract details, pre-hire collective agreement details, pre-hire probation period details, proposed compensation offer. I mean the request one-time payment offer agreement, request on agreement approval, pre-hire notice period details, make employment accreditation. All the steps will be there. Background check. I think we are done. Reviews, cleaning, assessment, interview, offer, employment document, reference check, background, business process. Background check. Background check. Your steps will be there. Not much, because you know we start particular what they do. They'll do all this verification and give the report right. And who all will do a lot of things will be there right. We should. Everything it will be involved in the real time actually. What kind of check will go? Sometimes what happens in real time scenario for internal candidate, no need to do any background check, right? Already you would have done. And possibly we can move the candor right. Any transfer, I'm telling, suppose any international transfer from one place to India to USA like that. I'm used to that case. For this, select background check overall status. What is the status, the step included, and simply making background check is failed or pass. The decision will be taken in this case. Tomorrow, if you have any doubt like most of us, please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.